Hello, my name is Minzy, and this is a funeral tie. You're gonna have to forgive me again for these late uploads. There's been a heck of a lot of night shifts, and I'm also slightly under the weather, so I probably shouldn't be really doing that. Really. But hey, let's talk about a game that happened way back into the realms of last week between Arsenal and Chelsea, or should I say Chelsea and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge on the 14th of January 2026. And let's talk about red flags. Red flags. I've had a red flag in my lifetime, all right, and that included being with somebody for 8 years of my life, nearly a decade. And the thing is, before I'd even got into this relationship, I said to myself, nah, I really shouldn't. There's such an obvious red flag, such a pertinent red flag. Don't go into it, lad. Don't fucking go into it. Just focus on yourself. Focus on that little study. Focus on that little career. And everything will be alright. And instead of wasting nearly a decade on somebody I really shouldn't have fucking gotten anywhere near. Fucking wasted it. Instead of concentrating on me, I wasted my entire decade for a nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I can't even use the words fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'm just a fool. I'm the king of all simps in that regard. Really am. Taking her halfway around the world and all of Bulgaria. And paying for a second degree. Oh dear, oh dear. King of the simp indeed with that one. Second red flag. The current Chelsea fucking ownership, for fuck's sake. I can't deal with these lot. I can't deal with these lot at all. Blueco and Clear Lake, just get the fuck away from our club. I don't care if we go on a winning amazing run or a losing run. Just get the fuck away from our club. You've hired a man in Enzo Maresca who I don't think should have gotten the job in the first place, who somehow managed to win you the UEFA Conference League, got into the Champions League where we've had memorable results thus far, and some not so memorable ones, so we say, and won us the Club World Cup, and you've decided to sack him because he said a few choice words against your awful management. Alright, I keep saying it's Roman Abramovich was one owner that really cared for that football club of ours. He really, really cared. We're talking about 2008 UEFA Champions League and 2012 UEFA Champions League when there were rumours going around saying he bought the whole of the Bavarian bars after that Champions League final in 2012 and allowed Chelsea fans to take over the streets of Bavaria, and he took over the streets of Moscow pre-game to allow Chelsea fans to revel the atmosphere of his home country of Moscow. You have that kind of an owner looking after our club. And the current shite of our club. Let me just show you this video that I'm sure has been well circulated already. Yeah? Look at this shit here, yeah? Chill. Those are Arsenal fans in the home section of Stamford Bridge in arguably one of the biggest games of Chelsea's season. We can't even feel safe in our own home stadiums. You had an owner in Roman Abramovich who took over bloody City to allow us lot to celebrate and feel safe. We don't even feel safe in our own home stadium. You have Arsenal fans singing, we sit where we want, we sit where we want. We're Arsenal FC, we sit where we want. For Christ's sake, I don't know what to say anymore. Genuinely don't know what to say anymore. Like I said, I genuinely wish we got liquidated when we had the chance to be liquidated. At least then in that way, I would have been happy that Chelsea would have won it all and then disintegrated into pieces. I can't stand these ownerships. And again, I just would like to know, are you not interfering in team management like Enzo Maresca was sort of suggesting, but didn't quite delve into it? Or the rumour mills are around the page that you've been telling management to say, play this player, play that player, so that we can sell them for a profit. I just want to know. I genuinely want to know. Why have you not seen Estevao and Cole Palmer together? Couldn't they have played in this game? Because we know Cole Palmer played in the next game against Brentford that we'll talk about. He played full 90 minutes in that game. Surely a player of his caliber would like to play every single game. Look, like I said, I'm no expert in sports science or sports medicine, so I don't want to even go there. But someone please tell me what's going on. Are those rumours true? I'm sure we'd all like to know. But hey, this was a game in which Chelsea should not have lost. Should not have lost so that we could take something to the Emirates. And we lost. We lost 3-2. Could have been more to Arsenal. They didn't get out of fourth or fifth gear at all in this game. They weren't at their best, but they could have scored 5 or 6 at Stamford Bridge. We were quite lucky. We were genuinely quite lucky that that was the scoreline. But am I being hopeful for the game at the Emirates on the 3rd of February? I don't think so. Funny enough, I will be at the Emirates, not the actual stadium, but the country itself, to watch it with my pals, the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. So that will be pretty nice to watch. But hey ho, what can I say? I think we're out of this competition. I don't think any opposition has won at the Emirates this season, have they? I don't think so. So it's going to be a miracle, but I don't see that miracle sadly happening. I think it's been done and dusted in this game, really. Started off really poorly in the 4th minute, really. A corner from the left from Declan Rice. Sanchez flapped at it, and Ben White had the most easiest of tap-ins. Literally headed it into an open net. His last goal for Arsenal came against Chelsea, and it's the same fucking scenario again. He got a goal and an assist in this fucking game. More on that bit later. We tried to claw our way back into it. Neto to Enzo to Pedro. Bit of a weird angle on the right. Drags his shot wide. Fernandez spreads out wide to Estevao, who cuts inside. It's a good save by Kepa. And then Arsenal could have gone 2-0 up in the first half when Zubimendi flicks it forward to Saliba, passes it on to Rice, back to Saliba. I thought he killed it in beautifully into the top right-hand corner. Thankfully, it hit the roof of the net, but I don't know why we allowed him the freedom of Stamford Bridge to have a shot on goal, and that was half-time. Second half pretty much started the same way as the first half, didn't it? Arsenal get the second goal. Saka to White. White, so this is where he gets his assist, the goal and assist for the game. Puts it across the box, and again, Sanchez has sort of saved it or parried it away. He just squirms underneath him, and Gyökeres will never get an easier goal than what he did to make it 2-0. I don't know what to say about Sanchez, and he's been all right this season, but when it mattered the most, he fucked it up. He fucked it up, man. There's no defending that. I'm sorry. There just isn't. You can't. In this level of game, to do that in a corner in the 4th minute and to do that right at the start of the second half on that, it's just inexcusable. To be honest, he's been one of our best players, so to be harsh on him is gonna do him a bit of injustice. But You look around the Premier League clubs, would they have Sanchez as their number one goalkeeper? Probably not. I'll be honest with you. You look around from first all the way down to the 20th. Would they really have Sanchez on the team? I don't think so. I generally don't think so. And that's just the nature of our club at the moment. Heck, Kepa, the goalkeeper that we sold to Arsenal, I think would probably be on the same level as Sanchez. Just a general observational point of view. Maybe I am being harsh, but like I said, sometimes you'll come up with an amazing game like he had against PSG and countless others, including the one against Brentford that I'll talk about later. But there's always an error somewhere, and unfortunately, it had to be this game. Then we score. Then we scored. Fernandes. He wins the ball up high up the pitch. It ricochets off Pedro, pushes it out wide to Neto, who dinks the ball into the far post, and he smashes a shot that squirms under Kepa Arrizabalaga at the near post. 2-1. Fantastic. Can we find a way back into it and make it 2-2? No, we throw it away again. Saka, he passes it into Moreno, he passes it on to Gyökeres, Zubamendi. He genuinely had the freedom of Stamford Bridge there. I thought I counted 7 seconds of him being inside of our fucking penalty box, and none of our defenders wanted to put a challenge onto him. This prick, this absolute prick, had 7 seconds inside of our fucking penalty box, and nobody wanted to fucking touch him. Fuck it hell. Puts it into the back of the net by planting it into the bottom left-hand corner. Pathetic. And this should have gone 4-1 up. Gyökeres, he bundles his way through. Saka, who then has a shot block, and then Merino. I thought he scored. And when it fell for him so nicely onto the volley, I thought it was in. Somehow Sanchez keeps us in the game. That was at 3-1. And then from the resultant corner, I think Rice swings in. Gabriel, he really should have scored. No. We all know Arsenal this season, their two biggest threats are Saliba and Gabriel. Nobody bothered marking Gabriel. Just came in unchallenged, heads into the ground and thankfully over the bar. Should have been 5-1 at that point. Should have been a right clobbering. And instead, we make it 3-2 and slightly interesting. Bit of an unusual route to go with our corner, but Neto with the corner. It comes out to the back stick, bundles its way to Garnacho, who does well, bounces it into the ground and into the top left-hand corner of the nets. Don't know how he managed to squeeze it in from there, but Garnacho's really loving his time in the Carabao Cup, isn't he? 3-2 makes it slightly interesting, but like I said, I think it's done and dusted. I think we're out of this competition. Nothing much left to say, really, apart from despondent and dejected, really. Yeah, just don't know what to say. There have been 4 major games that Chelsea have been involved in under this new ownership. The first one being the Carabao Cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea. Fluffed our lines there against a Liverpool, in a sense, under-18s team. Second one against Real Betis in the Conference League. Fair enough, got there in the end. The Club World Cup final against PSG. Unreal performance. And then this one against Arsenal, which really, we should have taken full advantage of being home at first, but we haven't. We've lost it, and with it, we've lost the tie. It's done and dusted. Like I said, I'll be in Dubai to watch the return leg on the 3rd of February. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we might just nick a goal right at the death and take it to penalties. because I'm sure there's no extra time, is there? Don't know. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Miracles can happen, but I think we've used up most of our miracles. There ain't gonna be one. So I'll see you for that one in the sand dunes of Dubai. But until then, I'll talk about Chelsea and Brentford shortly. Good night.